Hello, welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. In this video we're talking about 5 best decks of the week. These are decks that are great for Conquest mode as well as Ladder. There's a few changes in the decks that you can make. We'll talk about them. They're in no order, by the way. We're just whatever order I pulled them up to do this video. So, straight up, high evo control. So the idea is to win one lane and then win the other lane with Hulk. You do this with like Lockdown with Storm or Spider-Man. So you've got all these one drops you put down, you're trying to play off tempo as much as you can, off curve, so that your Hulk gets big. You've got your Doom in case you lose your Storm location, or you Spider-Man a lane and you want to try and put pressure on all 3 lanes. It's a pretty decent card, even with the nerf, it's still decent. There's not a card that really does what he does. So let's go through the deck. So obviously you've got the high evo card, high Wasp, Cyclops, high evo, Hulk. They're key in here. So we're looking at the one drops. I would advise to run 3. I wouldn't go 4, but you could change these. So the one missing card is Nebula. You could put Nebula in here for any of these one drops. Probably be Spider Ham, maybe Sunspot. I wouldn't touch Misty. I like Misty. Daredevil could be go for Luke Cage or another or Jeff. Storm's key. Wave could go for a 3 drop. You could swap another 2 drop. You could go Killmonger in here. You could even go up to a 4 and put a thing in here if you really wanted to. There's plenty of options in there. The waves in here to deal with kitty decks, obviously. Spider-Man would go Professor X. We are running Daredevil. There's that. Doom, you could probably switch out for another strong 6 drop. If you're going like Professor X, you probably don't want Doom. You'd probably just go like Shavaz or something, so you get your key pieces. And then obviously Hulk some key. So let's go on to the deck number 2. Deck number 2 is just a Lockjaw high evo deck. By now, if you haven't seen this, I don't know where you've been. Like, this deck's been everywhere for a while now. Pretty much since like a week after High Evo came out, someone figured this out. It's been dominating ever since. So it's a really good deck. Most of it, you could go like a Dracula version where you take out like you take out the Killmonger and I don't know. I don't want to say Doom Odin, but you could take out the Shavaz. Put in like Dracula and Infinite. The flex spot in here is probably your Killmonger card. Like the most flexible one. This could be Iceman. Sorry. Could be Iceman to win the mirror match because you get there free. Throw them off. It could be Wave. Deal with bounce decks. Killmonger could also deal with bounce decks, but it's kind of hard. Could be Shang-Chi to deal with big cards. There's plenty of options, but the rest of it's kind of key. You could change some of the 6 drops if you wanted, but like Wasp, Lockjaw, 4 Jubilee, High Evil, and Jane Foster are probably key. I'd say Doom is, which makes Odin and obviously Hulk. So if you really wanted to, Magneto and Shabazz you could change out. But I think this is probably the best lit version of the list. It's kind of high rolly. What makes it good is it's very simple to understand when to snap and when to retreat. If you have your Lockjaw and your Wasp on 3, followed by like a Jubilee on 4, that's a snap. If you have Lockjaw and 4 in your hand, it's probably a snap. If you only have your 6 drops, probably leave if they snap. I mean, no, probably about it. You definitely leave if they snap. It's a very simple snapping pattern, which makes it very strong. Okay. Deck number 3 is just a Sarah control list. It's pretty standard. It's just kind of covers all your bases. It's got Kitty for some power and bounce stuff. You've got your Shang-Chi to deal with stuff. You've got your Enchantress to deal with stuff, and then Sarah. There is a few like cards you can interchange. Like you could obviously get rid of the Nova and the Killmonger if you don't want to, but I wouldn't advise it. It's a lot of power. Angela's good, Bishop's good, Kitty's good, Hitmonkey's good. These are the 2 that I switch out. The Scarlet Witch and the Sentinel. You could go for another 2. Go for Jeff. You could go for I'd probably put Silk in here. You can have Medusa in here. Yeah. Like, they are good because of 2-drops, but you can also swap them for other 2-drops if you don't really think you need them. I always feel like with Scarlet Witch, is when I got her, I never need her. Whenever I take her out, I need her. And Sentinel is good if you get him out early, right? You just fill your board up, you get a lot of stats down. Make sure you don't fill the board up for a big hit monkey. Hitty turn is good, but you could switch them out for another 2s. You could even, I wouldn't probably go 3s, but 2s or 1s. So you could put Spider-Ham in here, you could put Iceman, you could go Jeff, Silk, Medusa, stuff like that. The options are quite open, which is why it's a good deck. Next deck is just a bounce list. This is a kitty bounce list. There's a lot of different versions going around right now. This is the version I like. With Spider-Ham in here, because if you hit one of their key cards, Spider-Ham on turn 1, it's really good and fun. So you could, obviously we're missing in here like the Demon. We're missing like Falcon if you want to go full bounce. But I think Falcon feels a little awful since it changed to Beast. Rather Beast than Falcon. So you never really get a spot for Falcon. You could go Collector. If you go Falcon, you maybe go Collector. Shavas is good for drawing your key cards. Iron Man's incredible in here, especially if you bast it. If you hit your bast on Iron Man, just dropping a 3-power Iron Man could turn a whole lane drastically. Especially if you put it with Kitty, right? Not much is going to beat a free bouncing Kitty with an Iron Man. The rest of it kind of straightforward. Silk could be any 2-drop. Could be Jeff, it could be Medusa, could be another 1-drop if you really wanted. Falcon. But I like Silk, I like the freedom, I love the RNG, and it just confuses people. Lastly, this is my deck. This is my favourite deck right now. I've got like 4 or 5 infinite tickets or something with this deck right now. It is doing so well for me. I love it. The one deck it does struggle with is bounce. I don't really like putting wave, but if I run into a lot of bounce, I would change Killmonger for wave. It kind of sucks because it does kind of, you have a lot of powerful turns as well, but you can obviously play around it. So the Zabu Darkhawk list really. So you get your Zabu, your Darkhawk, your Rock Slide. Iron Lad's in here because everything's a good target. Pretty much, probably the worst target is Shang-Chi unless you want your aiming to try and Shang-Chi something, and then good. You've got Storm in here because you've got Jeff, Silk, and Doom to reach that lane. You've got Shang-Chi for some big stuff. Spider-Ham to give you that advantage. Like if you hit a key card, Doom to reach the Storm lane if you need to, or spread power out. A really fun deck. I love this deck. It's crazy. And that's it for the 5 decks a week today. The meta play is in a pretty good spot, I'd say the meta in, especially with the updates this week. Nick Fury's seen a lot more play. I had a lot of success with Red Skull decks. High Evo's still at the top, but other cards are creeping up on it, and when it gets nerfed, hopefully in a couple of weeks, when the next patch is, gets a little tweak, and then the meta game should open up so much then. The meta game would open so much if like High Evo just took a little tweak. It's right there right now, but the High Evo decks are just a little bit ahead of everyone else. Kitty Pride's also up there, but like if you go High Evo, Kitty Pride, under there are so many decks. That's where you put your Sarah, you got your Darkhawk, you've got all these Destroy lists, Red Skull list, probably Nick Fury's creeping in there now. It's not a big gap, but there is a little bit of a gap between the top decks and the rest. But that's not saying you can't beat them. Problem being is some of the decks can't beat all 3 of them, or 2 of them. You know, if you're aiming to beat Kitty, you're gonna struggle against High Evo. It's kind of one of them, which makes them a little bit better because they can beat each other and they can beat everything else. So it's a kind of a good meta. Hyeva's just a little bit too strong, but it's still a really fun meta. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. Say what decks you've been enjoying and what success you've had. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trying to get 10k and we're a while off, so please subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.